You know how people say young kids have to grow up with their parents? Well, mine didn't. At least not for the first part of their childhood. Not because I didn't love them, but because life backed me into a corner where I had to choose between holding on and building a future. And looking back, I realized God was teaching me some of my biggest lessons through that painful choice. Funny how sometimes the very thing people think disqualifies you is what God uses to define you. I am not saying it was the best choice or whether it was right or wrong. I'm saying this choice was necessary, at least for our survival at that time. When my husband and I first moved to the US, we both had degrees. He had a master's degree, but nobody would hire us. Educated but broke, full of faith but stuck. For context, he grew up in Western Uganda, speaking Runyankore. I, on the other hand, grew up in Central Uganda, speaking Luganda, even though our roots, both of us, are in Rwanda. That's where we actually met, in Rwanda. I couldn't speak Runyankore, but he could speak Luganda. So that worked. Eventually, we decided to take out school loans, went back to school, but we had two little kids. One barely 15 months old and the other was 3. Life was overwhelming, to say the least. So we did what no one understood. We sent these 2 little ones to Uganda to live with my in-laws while we studied. People thought I had lost my mind. But which mother sends such young kids away? But when you are fighting to survive, you don't choose the easy route. You choose the one that gives your family a future. I studied day and night. By God's grace, I finished a 3-year master's in information systems management in half the time. So a 3-year program, I completed it in half the time so that I could get my babies back. Then 2008 hit. Remember the global recession, mass layoffs, chaos everywhere, and right in the middle of it all, God opened a door. I got my first job offer. That was the beginning of my career in information systems. I later followed it with an MBA. But that first open door, man, God showed up. Who says God only blesses in stable times? Sometimes he shows off best when everything else is falling apart. When my kids came back from Uganda, after we were done with school, they were safe, happy, and speaking Runyankore. I mean, yeah, it was a little unexpected. So my 3-year-old had started kindergarten and became the official translator for her little brother. One day in the car, my son pointed out a crumpled, empty water bottle and said, "Mommy, Ami is gaff." That means, "Mommy, the water is dead." I burst out laughing because he was so right. The bottle looked so dead, all crumpled up. But God used that moment to whisper something to my heart. Sometimes what looks dead in our lives is just empty. It's not over. It's waiting for a refill. That season taught me more than any classroom ever could. God used hardship to teach me endurance, separation to teach me surrender, and laughter to remind me he wasted nothing. What looked like loss became gain. What looked like setback actually became setup. Maybe the thing that's breaking your heart today is actually building your faith for tomorrow. Today, those little translators are in college. One is studying biology and the other computer science. Both already have their associate degrees. So, if you are in a season that feels impossible, remember, God is not done. He is not done. Your water isn't dead. It's just waiting for a refill. If this story has blessed you, drop a heart or a comment. And never forget, sometimes the lesson is the blessing. Stay encouraged, my friend, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.